Welcome to your April 13th Monday Power Hour with Katelyn, Carly, and Clare Fulton.
It's quiet today.
Did you guys miss us? It was a whole week.
What us?
Was Stanek better than us? Should he just be here instead? Because he's hired, if so, it's fine.
I mean, he did come in with the Grinch hat last
Yeah, he is probably a little more entertaining than we are.
More props, eh?
He had more props. He wants to, his dream is to make this like a comedy show. He's trying to be funny. I'm not very funny. So he sent me these videos today to show that I don't really get. So I'm gonna let him do that next time he goes to this meeting.
He wants this to be the comedy
It was
show.
like the video with like the goose chasing something, and he was like, "Oh, this is what we were like last week." I don't know. I have to. Maybe I'll send out in WhatsApp.
Probably chasing an eagle.
We'll give him a section of the meeting.
Yeah, he watches the Daily Show, and I think he wants us to be like that. But I'm not that funny.
No.
So we'll see. You guys didn't introduce yourselves last week, so now anyone watching the meeting is going to wonder who Stanek is and why he was hosting the meeting.
Oh, okay.
But I guess our own agents know who he is, so that's okay. So how was the week? We were not here. We missed it.
Did
But
you introduce yourself tonight, eh?
yeah, I did actually. You just blacked out. You didn't pay attention. I did.
He's just here. Like he said, he's just here today.
He's just here today. I even said the date and our names as well.
There you go.
But that's okay. Who did open houses and how were they? Steve, you had one?
I did one Sunday, 1 to 4.
Yeah. So Scarborough Bungalow, under $1 million?
It was busy.
Bit busy.
$7.99.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was probably like 50 groups. Give or take.
Okay. And did you have showings booked? Like, I'm curious about the ratio of showings and open houses, because we have listings that we did not do open houses on, and we still had some showings, but not like crazy.
Like during that time?
Or at all, just in general.
I have, I think, 35 to 40 showings.
Okay, so that makes sense. So it was busy open house, busy for showings then too.
What number are you guys looking for in terms of the price?
It will be somewhere in the 9s, midnight.
So holding offers.
Is it a freehold?
For real, yeah.
Land value mostly?
It's a size but good bones. And you got 4 beds up and up and then 1 on the main floor, so it's a 5-bed villa.
Yeah, it's like a nice family house.
Yeah.
People were bugging Steve. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it on YouTube. I'll fake a story, but we had this question a lot about disclosing deaths. We get it every week. Do you have to disclose a death? Legally, according to the law, no, the seller does not need to disclose it. But under TRESA, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Because as an agent, we have just obligations to let buyers know what they need to know to make a decision. So maybe we don't have to, but we do it because it's the right thing to do. So Steve was disclosing, and he had agents sending him TRESA rules, and you don't need to disclose, and like they didn't want to know.
Oh, they didn't want to know.
They didn't want to tell their clients.
I feel like it's safer to tell the
Yeah,
clients if
of
you know it
course.
will affect their decision.
But
Like, wouldn't the buyers be mad at
Yeah.
their buyer's agent knowing
Yeah.
they could have had that
Yeah.
information?
But I was kind of laughing because you
Wow.
had people pushing back, be like, "Why are you disclosing? You don't have to do that." Well, we're doing it because it's the right thing to do.
They're like, earmuffs.
So
That's like when you get a home inspection as the buyers do a home inspection as
Yeah,
the listing
don't tell
agent.
me
You're
the
like, I don't want to know.
it's so difficult there because you're right. If you talk to a lawyer says you don't have to disclose that, but if we type offers for you and you guys are typing your own offers, make sure you put in there that the seller warns there hasn't been any deaths, fires, insurance claims, whatever might be in there. Make sure you put it there because RICO's come back and said if the buyer was concerned about a death in the family, they should put the onus on the buyer's agent.
Which is what TRESA did a little bit. TRESA put more onus on the buyer's agent to ask the right questions, but it doesn't mean as a listing agent you need to protect it if you know. I think you should work together and just give the information that everyone needs to know. But yes, according to the law, there's no legal law that says you have to disclose that.
All right, so that's why when we do our offers, you'll see on there we put in there the standard clause saying that the seller warns there hasn't been any deaths in the family. We do that because we're representing the buyer. If you represent the seller, okay, this is a different situation.
But I guarantee those people that are bugging you are not going to be your highest offer on offer night.
But I always like those people that respond, or those people that are telling you that Tress is at the store. I'd like to reply to them saying, so how would you like to have your 4-year-old daughter move into the bedroom where this person
That's right.
passed away? Oh, by the way, she passed away natural causes, but they didn't find her for 2 months. Do you think that makes a difference?
It's not up to us to decide if it's
Yeah, let the buyers decide
So
if it's
up to the buyer. I
deciding
mean,
factor.
we're not up to decide whether or not death matters to us or not. It's up to the buyer to decide, and the buyer doesn't know. So in my opinion, it's considered a latent defect that should be disclosed.
Yeah, but I love agents telling you the rules, eh? They don't want to know.
But I'm just thinking practically. Okay, you guys tell me if you bought a house yourself that somebody passed away in the room. Is that something you want to know?
Yes.
If you bought a house and nobody told you, you say, well, nobody told me. You say, well, I didn't have to tell you. The law says don't have to tell you. Don't you think that'd be a bad taste? Don't you think there's something
But there's the other school
There's
of
something
thought.
ethically about that? I don't know.
There's the other school of thought that there's houses that are hundreds of years old. There's probably a death at some point in most of our houses in the GTA. So at what
I've heard
point,
that.
you
I've
know?
heard that argument too, but then it's not up to us to
It's not up to
decide.
us.
Like we ourselves can say, hey, there's 100 people die every time. Is it up to us? It's up to us to make that decision, or is it up to
No.
the buyer to make that decision?
Buyer makes that. Yeah, I
So
agree.
there's the conflict. So we always have
Yeah.
conflicts. So if you have a seller that says we don't have to disclose, you're absolutely right. But if you have an offer from my office or someone else's offer, it's going to say that the seller warns there hasn't been any deaths in the property. How are you going to deal with that?
Yeah.
You can't say, oh, I don't have to disclose. Well, no, they're asking you. You made a declaration say there's no deaths. How are you going to overcome that?
So on offer night, you're going to watch for your offer, Schedule A, make sure no one has that clause. Okay. Debbie had a crazy.
Sorry,
open
one more
house.
question on
sorry.
that.
Yeah.
So, in terms of disclosing stuff, I know we spoke about like debt and stuff, but in terms of financial, if we're listing a property and if the offer is up to a certain level that is not going to clear the debt, is it my responsibility to disclose that to the other side that said that offer cannot be below certain?
I'm doing like the
threshold?
Indian head shake. You want to have clauses in there that protects so that you can close. Do you have to disclose it necessarily? No, but you should have a clause on lawyer's approval to make sure that there is enough funds to clear it, because you don't want to come to closing day, which we've had before, where you find out on closing day there's no funds. And then you're in breach of contract now, and then both parties are in big
So
trouble.
disclosing that issues of how much debt they have. Is
I don't know if
not
I'd
my
use the word
responsibility.
disclose, but you want to have a conversation, no? I'm looking at Claire. I know he's processing or thinking about it.
Well, disclose. I don't think I want to disclose anybody, but you want to make sure as a listing agent that the deal can close.
And that you get it paid.
And so if the guy owes $2 million on a $1 million property and has no intentions of closing, how would you? Same thing. You're gonna sell the property. Somebody's going to move in moving day, and they can't close because the seller can't give clear title. So and you are aware of that situation. So you tell me, is that a RICO situation or no?
It's definitely a contract law situation. You're going to be breach of contract.
I would think I think it's something to do with code of ethics on here, saying that you sold a property knowing that it would never ever close because it couldn't close, and you made the buyer do all these hoops and everything and get everything ready and they can't close. So I think there'd be a problem for the listing agent.
And again, it's the right thing to do.
To say disclose is a different thing. You're not
Yes.
going to disclose to the
Sure.
buyer's agent, but you're going to make yourself sure that they can close.
Yeah. And you do that by making it a conditional on seller's lawyer approval. So you can say, this is the offer. They can check what's on title, and they can either negotiate if there's not enough, or they've got to make something happen. But it's the right thing to do to talk to each other and make it work.
So let's go back a little bit of time here. So we type offers for you. If you're typing your own offers, then you should be doing this as well. But if we're typing offers for you, you get a package from the CSR. You get a package that talks about FinTrack. Get a package that talks about lockboxes, privacy department. Also, from the office, you'll get on a listing, you'll get a mortgage verification. How many people here, with show of hands, know what a mortgage verification is?
You guys just put it aside, right? You're like, I don't need that.
Those people that didn't put
I
their
don't need
hands
this
up.
form.
Have you used it though?
Those people that didn't put their hands up, is that because you're not aware of it or because you don't want to put your hand up?
Pretending.
So, in today's world, if you're selling properties that have more mortgage than the house, it's your obligation to do the mortgage verification to find out what it's going to cost to discharge that mortgage, what's the outstanding balance on that mortgage, and if there's any penalties, and if the guy's up to date on his payments. So you have to get a piece of paper signed by the seller giving you authority to talk to the lender. And the lender will come back saying, yeah, the guy owes $1 million. He's behind in 3 months of payments. He has a discharge penalty of 6 months, and then you'll do the math from there. Now, a lot of agents come to me and say, well, we can't do that mortgage verification because the banks won't honor it, even though it's got your seller's signature on it. No problem. Give it to your seller. Ask your seller to go to the bank and get them the same information. Right?
The
But
first time that they've done this.
now in the past, I had this once done before. We sold a house years ago, and the property never closed because it was more mortgage than the house. Big mess. And I said to the agent, not you, did you do a mortgage verification to find out what the heck's going on? The agent said, yes, I did. And I said, what did the mortgage verification say? And he came back and says, they never replied. Let me ask that question again. Did you get a mortgage verification? The answer is no.
No.
Right? So you got to be careful.
Yeah. So that was a lot of compliance in
Yeah,
one
wow,
open
we're
house
really getting
conversation.
started
That's
hot
awesome.
today.
I love it. Who else did open houses?
I know Debbie did one this weekend in just outside Bowmanville, I believe.
And hers was crazy.
She had 97 groups through it. She's doing offers right now as we speak. She has 14 offers. When I was driving to the office, she was on 14.
14 offers in Bowmanville.
Price point?
I think it was low.
Must be
I
six
don't know the
something.
exact price point, but I think it was a detached, probably under 500 even. Yeah, like it was in Clarington somewhere. But she said it was wild. She had an ice cream truck as well.
Oh, okay.
So she went around the neighborhood, she bought tickets, and then she had an ice cream truck out front. She actually lives in the area, so she wanted to like make a good impression if it's her neighbors. So she obviously went, door knocked, handed out some ice cream stuff. So that probably helped as well. So she probably didn't get a lot of qualified, but I mean, 14 offers. It's
Isn't
pretty
that a good idea? So she
Great
handed,
idea.
So she handed out tickets to the neighbors.
So she just had one little
instead
ticket.
of just people showing up.
Yep. So
That's
she
cool.
like, I think the goal was for them to come into the house even, but she had a good turnout. I haven't talked to her in like a lot, but I know she was really concerned about it being busy because she had a lot of showings booked right away. So we were trying to find her someone to partner with, but I don't think we found anybody. I reached out to the group for a new agent if they wanted to shadow, but no one took the opportunity. And then Michael also had one. He's listed on Olive. I don't know if you guys, I'm calling him the Olive King now. Does
Good.
anyone know
Olive and
what price point? All I know is he put on Instagram
was
that he has the
$3.99.
cheapest freehold in Durham right now.
$3.99.
I told him to send it to the Toronto Star or something.
Yeah, he wrote like something on his Instagram saying, I have the cheapest freehold property in Durham, 3 something.
39.
So I think he's holding offers on that as well. Olive's like not the best street, but for some reason Michael is getting a lot of listings in these townhomes. He had one of his buyers bought one, and I think he's got a rental there now, and now he's got this one.
So he's doing something I wish everybody would do, and he's created a little bit of a farm.
Yeah, the
And
Olive King.
So now he's picked an area, and it's a decent area. It has turnover, and hopefully he's going to be able to.
Yeah,
you know.
crappy little houses, but it's
There's
working for
something
him.
for everybody. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's the price
He
point.
loves it.
Oh, he did his farming in that area?
So we got like his one buyer bought a property. These are like $300,000-$400,000 properties in Oshawa, like not the greatest area. It's on Olive. So we had a buyer buy there. She ended up gutting the whole thing, renovated it really nicely, like, and she's like a nice girl. So then we told him like, why don't you go get more? And then I think a property manager got a hold of him somehow. So we got a rental in that area, and they ended up liking him. I think they have a couple units in there. I don't know how he got this one, but I think he's just been in the area. I tried to make him a flyer with him in a throne with an olive on it. I wanted him to put that on his flyer so bad.
So he's farmed it, but organically, not like your traditional farming that Claire would talk about, where he's going out there. He's
So-
somebody that will. He's a reflector, human design, if you know what that means, which means things come to him kind of naturally, and that's what's happening in this case. It's just referral, lease that's turning into a buy and a sell, and it's all on the same street.
I want to think it's guerrilla farming. Hopefully he's
Yeah.
putting out just sold flyers, just listed flyers, or
probably
phone
will
calling,
for this
door
one.
knocking the area. He's just doing guerrilla farming until the next one comes
Yeah.
around, right?
And he's building a network just from the open houses and the people applying, so
Good.
it's pretty good.
That's good. From WhatsApp, someone did an open house in Pickering, only about 2 visits. It was tenanted though. It's also 1.1, so that kind of makes sense for the price point. And then someone else did one, I don't know what location it is, but 12 sets of people through as well.
I think someone said Scott, was it you,
Oh, yeah.
Steve? Scott had a lot too?
Yeah, he posted that he had, his listed was $5.99. I think he put on his Facebook, he had like 150 people or something.
Yeah, like crazy.
We did one for Sunday.
Oh, how was on
It
Sunday?
was really busy, and Nasser did a like a Farsi TikTok.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
And his phone was like we're in the dinner, like call.
Okay, good.
That's so good.
Because of the price point?
Yeah.
Is it in Scarborough? Where is it located?
Yeah, Bundao.
$5.99?
Yeah.
What's, I assume obviously that's way under listed. but-
Way under.
Is it a bungalow?
It is a bungalow. It needs a lot of work.
Oh, okay. So he's
It
just,
says,
okay.
person died there.
Yeah.
Was-
Did they ask that in the open house?
Was it disclosed?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. So that'll be, do you know when his offer date is?
On Wednesday.
Okay, so that'll be an interesting one to follow up on then. I think that's kind of the thing.
On which
Okay.
street?
Brookdale.
Crazy.
Brookridge. Yeah. Because I call that area.
So people, it seems like it's busy. Open houses are busy. Showings were steady as well. But are people actually offering?
You lost a 9 offers?
And did they actually sell that night? They sold, okay. So no one's like waiting.
Was it like a fully move-in ready home?
Field light, 13-cent field
Oh
light.
yeah.
Oh,
that's
field light,
sellable.
like the townhomes?
Yeah.
Those are old and not amazing.
I
but
did read some stats that
good.
townhouses kind of came back because at the beginning of the year they were the most hit for pricing, but I think now because of the pricing they're coming up a
Maybe
little
the
bit.
detached might have, or the freehold might have
I think
just
so.
over, like got that
Yeah.
step where it's now
Yeah.
not attainable.
I think condo towns are still struggling. That's kind of what I'm reading, and anything with a maintenance fee.
field light's
but-
a condo town.
So
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, that's good to know.
We just got one.
Okay.
And then there was another one that had 3 offers sold. So there's a few out there that are going.
So it feels busy, but I'm not seeing it in
Four
the
bedroom.
number of sales yet. But the energy feels more busy, right?
How about
Like-
appointments, Nelson? Did you?
Strong almost 400.
yeah, they're
Oh.
strong.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's
Yeah.
a nice thing to see then. The buyers are
I declare
coming
the
out.
spring market is here.
Woo! Finally.
And how long?
April.
How long is it gonna last? Do we have a couple weeks? Like we have longer than 2 weeks. this
Well, the
spring market?
announcement's on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
The rate announcement.
Yeah,
so
we rate
we'll
announcement
see how that
Wednesday. We have an
goes.
impending election coming to you.
What do you guys think is gonna go up or down?
I think it'll go down.
I think down or stay the same. I told Varan I saw a news article today that said it was going up. He's like, everyone needs to get off the news. I'm like, I agree. So I was like, is that true?
I agree. Sanic was getting calls all weekend from his buyers that were getting cold feet, and it's because they were watching the news. They were like an older demographic, and they were watching CNN and they were watching the news and calling him in a panic. He said, "Just do me a favor, turn off the TV.
Yeah.
Stop
just turn
watching
it off.
TV. Everything is fine. We know the math. We know our numbers. We know your life goal. Turn off the TV." And I really think it's screwing people up.
Well, because there's so many different.
Yes,
No one knows.
it's changing every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about 16th and what's going to happen?
I'll get into it later. So.
Oh, he's ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're changing the agenda today.
We're that's chapter 4 right now. We're still in chapter 1. So let's look at the numbers here, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so I like to look at numbers here because I know everybody can read the newspapers and you can have emotions and whatever else, but I like reading the numbers just to give me some idea what's going on here. So
And
as
I'm
of
gonna let
last
you
night,
read the weekly, and I might compare it to the monthly at the same time
Okay.
because our monthly just came out as well. So I'll kind of piggyback on both.
for March, okay. So right now we've got 26,600 active listings. Now, just so you know, the numbers, when I do active listing, I just do active listing. I do everything. I do parking lots and lockers and the whole works. I'm not gonna, and what I've done, in the past, I've split it up. I said, okay, condo apartments, townhouses, freeholds, and when I compare those numbers to the numbers I'm doing, they're pretty much the same anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. So think more about the flow rather than the hard numbers. But still, there's 26,600 active listings, which is quite a few. I haven't read this yet, but I bet it's probably a record. We probably haven't had that many since the 1990s.
I read 2009, but maybe
2009 was the highest one? Okay, so it is quite a bit.
Because Treb's reporting about 23,000, just so you can compare when you
23,
see your
yeah,
Treb
okay.
stats. It's very close to what the weekly
Yeah,
stats
so it's
are.
about 10%. Of those, there's 14,500 are freeholds, 12,000 are condos. So there's a little more freeholds than there are condominiums, and condominiums include townhouses. I'm interested in this vacant. I want to know what's the market. How many people are selling the vacant property? So of the 26,600, 9,500 are vacant, or 36% of the properties are vacant. Break that down into condominiums or freeholds. 28% of freeholds are vacant. 45% of condos are vacant.
I bet there's a lot of one-bedroom condos in that mix.
So what's that telling me? That's telling me that the sellers are trying to get old prices. The sellers they're not adjusting their prices. They're not, even though they're watching the news and they're watching the stock market. They're typical human beings and they're saying that doesn't affect me. My place is still worth this. But with 45% vacant, that's something going on, right?
I bet it's to a lot of small studio one-bedroom condos.
I just wonder how many condos, because I just read in here, like in 2024, we had the most pre-construction condominiums complete and come onto the market. So I wonder how many of those are these types of properties.
Isn't that ironic? The most amount of completions finished versus the lowest record-breaking amount of starts happening in the same year. Pretty
Sales, they're actually down 27% from this time last year. The freeholds are down 21%. Condominiums are down 35%. So it goes, but everybody's talking about how the condominium market is struggling right now. So those numbers sort of tell me that as well. Properties that sold for 101%. The question is, do I underprice, overprice? Of the properties that did sell, 28% sold for over asking. break that down, 3% of freeholds, 34% of freeholds sold for over asking, and 16% of condominiums sold for over asking. Goes back to what I'm talking about, condominium pricing. Condominium pricing is not that difficult. What did the last one sell for? And you're just going to sell for the same. It's the price
Yeah.
per square foot. There's
No,
you can't say, well, mine has this or mine has that. Well, they all have the same thing. So it's pretty much mathematics, right? Properties that sold for under 90%. You ever have clients say, well, it's just the price. Just the price. Let's just put it out there and we'll see what the market is. It's not what I want. Somebody can bring in an offer. Has anybody had those? Or the other answer we get there, well, I've been in the market for 30 days, no offers. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Have you had that one?
I just saw one in Markham. The guy listed for 1.7, took 1.4.5.
1.7 to 1.4.5. Okay, so that's less than 10%, right? Properties that sold for under 90% of the list price.
Under 90%.
Under 90%. Properties that sold for under 90% of the list price, 2%.
It's like nothing.
So prices will sell for within 97, 98% of the asking price. If you're not within that 2 or 3% of the actual price, it's not going to sell.
Yep.
Get close.
So, Mr. Seller, yes, you can try to get it overpriced, but will it work? Maybe 2% of the time.
Yeah. And if you hold offers, it will only work
All right.
16% of the time.
So pricing is critical, and my advice is the 21 days, because 21 days, 21 joins, no offers, price reduction. Take the emotions straight out of it.
Yep.
Just make it very mechanical.
Would you do any sooner than 21 days? If you had someone that was really anxious and you had it up for a month or a week?
It's just a number to take emotions out, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
daily 174 is pretty good. Now, if I compare the numbers to March 13th, so that's more relevant to April last year, March 13th this year versus April 13th this year. Sales are actually up 17% from March.
Finally, that's good.
Hooray!
Better than, so where we reported in
And-
March, minus 23, so that's
And daily, so the freeholds are actually up 25% and condominiums are up 5%.
Gotta live somewhere.
Right? So it's still something there. So it's
well, it tells you that things
going.
that are priced accordingly are going to sell, right? Like,
the average, it sells within 97, 90% of asking price.
yeah.
Last year, just so you know, last April we did 7,069 sales last April. That was the best month for the entire year of 2024. So the rest of 2024, it went down from there, right? So here, I think we're going to start going up. So we're going to start to see some differences between last year and this year, but there they are. Leases, 17,000 active leases. They've been around that number for a while now, I think.
Yep.
And vacant leases, 55%. Vacant houses, 59%. Vacant condos, 53%
When is a vacant
for rentals.
houses? Is that for sale?
For lease.
What I just did now was for lease. What I did before you got here, vacant was for sale, and there's 36% are vacant.
Vacant sale.
That's a lot, though, for freehold. That's 60%
just-
of houses are
And
vacant.
just to repeat there for you, so 28% are freehold or vacant, 45% of condos are vacant
For sale.
for sale. On the lease side, vacant, 53% are vacant, 55 overall, 59% for freeholds.
Why are there so many vacant houses? Is that because their rent's too high, or they're trying to sell and lease at the same time, and
Estate sales.
I think they're vacant because.
they're trying to rent them though? These are leases.
I've also seen people misrepresent.
Maybe they were
I
tenanted or
wonder,
they're
if,
dying.
I wonder if it's the 3 Ds,
I think it was one of the D's for sure. Death,
right?
Disclosure.
Like when the
disclosure, or
market's
divorce.
when the market's slow, there's the 3 Ds still
it was
influence
8
the
D's,
market,
but
right?
there's 3.
The main ones?
The main ones,
That's
right?
interesting. That's a lot of vacant freeholds for lease, though. Like, they should all be selling them.
Leases themselves are up 5% for condos, 2% overall. They're minus 6% for freeholds, and compared to March versus April 13th, leases they're actually up 8%. So we're actually getting a little bit better than March, which we should because last year we were as well. And so it's not the end of the world, but it's things are happening.
Nothing wrong with those.
Properties are selling. All right.
We're talking about that price adjustment right now you're mentioning. Let's say we have a property at Shops and Down Mills, good area, 1 bedroom and a den. Everybody listed within the same price range of 618 to 625 to 615 in that range. out of a sudden, like we're in that margin of 20, 21 days. I see one of those old listings, they relisted for 510,000. Then
They're like,
these-
screw it.
Now, these are brand new condo that just came to market. They're just closed.
it was a
They're
brand
newish.
new, it was interim occupancy done about a year and a half ago by Lantera. Now, about a couple months ago, they did their final closing. So I rented for these guys, that 2-unit there. We put one in the market. It's been like almost a month.
Is this the Lantera that went out of business, or is this Lantera that finished?
Lantera's good.
Business.
Okay, all right.
So the question is, since that comparable, they reduced it for 100,000. There's no point on me doing price adjustment because what price am I going to adjust it to?
Are they holding offers?
No, they said because
But it hasn't
another
sold
property,
yet.
Just bring any offer, we give it.
That's
to you.
right. So they're going to set the bar now for what
Yeah.
prices are,
That's
and
what it should
everyone. But that's the market value. So it's not going to sell under whatever that unit sells for is going to be market value now for that
And
building.
after that, we have to reduce it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many square feet is that? 500. Just
600 max.
600, 595, and how much did they drop it down to?
It was listed as 610. They reduced it to 510.
Like 800.
That's
That makes sense. It should be
crazy.
about $850 a square foot, no?
Going to kill
That's what
everyone.
it is, yeah.
We just did a Tobaco at $850 a square foot.
Like downtown is about 1,000
Yeah.
square foot.
Yeah, so I'm telling condo people, if you want to sell and you've got a whole bunch of competition, you want to be in the bottom 15%.
So after that,
Of
you
everything.
adjust it to that price automatically. There's no other.
That's your comparable.
Yeah. Like you could try to tell the buyer's agents, yeah, they were just desperate, make up some sort of story about
Desperate,
the
still
neighbors
market
sold
value.
because they were desperate.
Still market
but
value.
It is going to affect that price for
Is
sure.
there-
I don't think they'll sell it though.
It could be a
Do
marketing
you
price.
think? I think that's a marketing price. I don't even
Could
think
be.
the seller would sell it for
Are they
that
asking for
much.
24-hour irrevocable or 48 hours, anything
I
weird?
bet they're just trying to get something.
They said they bought another property. They need
Yeah, they wanna sell.
offload
Yeah.
this and they need to
Yeah.
Yeah.
get that done.
Because I feel like that would be the type of seller that says just drop it just to get buyers
them.
in, but they'll try to negotiate a $600,000 price probably.
Sounds like they need to sell it, though.
It's like we did one in Pickering. They listed at 1.4. We submitted an offer. Like, oh no, we wanted 1.8. We're like, wait, what? Like there was no offer,
There's a lot of
nothing.
confusing stuff happening right now with pricing, right? I've seen this thing, I saw a lot in 2017. It came back, offers as of a certain date. So it's like a soft offer date, but not really, just in case it
You've
doesn't
tried
work.
that.
I've tried
You've
that
tried
before.
that. It doesn't.
It
normally
did work, but yeah, I've seen some weird things and pricing over, under. In that building, is there tons of rentals available too?
Used to be the first year.
Yeah,
when
but
we got
it's settled down now. They
it's
got through
settled
them.
down.
Okay, that's gonna help
Surprisingly,
them.
the rent price has gone up because we rented 2,300 at the beginning last year, but not all the amenities was working.
Yeah.
Now it's 2,600. But we asked the tenant to move out because we wanted to sell it seriously. We
Yeah.
had to move out, but
Yeah, no,
price,
no,
I
it's
don't know
vacant.
it's gonna work.
Yeah.
So this article here is telling me doesn't talk about condos, it talks about houses, but they're saying here that Toronto area home sellers face a barrage of low ball bids. So this guy here, he's trying to get a townhouse in Little Italy here. He's trying to list it 2.25, then he brought it down to 2.2. Received offers 1.9. He finally sold it for $2,000,009. So we went from 2.250 to 2,090. So that's a 10% drop right there. It seems. Another guy came in at 265, ended up selling for 2.1. So these are like $400,000 or $500,000 drops, right?
Which area?
This is downtown again. This is at Delaware. It's all downtown stuff. Houses and townhouses. Yeah, so some people are dropping their prices for sure. So condominium, be curious to see what happens there.
Yeah.
But isn't 1,000 square foot downtown? Is that still the going number for resale, or is it 1,100, 1,200?
It'd be like CO1, CO8 might be
CO1
the but
all-
I'm seeing anywhere outside of that, like C10 and W02, they're at about $850 a square foot.
We just did Pickering at like 700.
That's what I know. I'm seeing that in West Etobicoke, outside downtown, but it's still in CO1 downtown core. We're still seeing about 1,000 a square foot. I haven't seen
Unless it's
1,200.
like luxury, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
but-
luxury, a unique property.
Festival Tower.
No.
No, I don't think that will do
Festival
1,200.
Tower, I got mine. Festival Tower, I think 1,000,
think
if that.
1,000.
If that, because there's a brand new one at.
Right
38
across.
Concord has one there.
And they were selling that at 1,600 a square foot.
Well, they have been in the market like 2-bedroom at 800 square feet. It's been like almost 4 or 5 months for a little bit less than $1 million, like 980, zero showing.
So we got my famous guy here.
Famous guy.
What about Eglinton area, Young and Eglinton?
I bet they'd be just under 1,000.
Maybe 900 even.
Yeah.
I read this article here back in July last year, and this guy here, he's trying to sell his place on 36 Charlotte. And the article started off
that
saying,
guy. Did he sell you?
Started off saying, I can only drop the price so much. Inside, one condo owner's desperate attempt to sell in Toronto's ghost town market. After 3 months and a $50,000 drop, the condo still hasn't sold. So he's complaining, and he's writing the article, and he's got full page ad.
How many agents has he gone
And
through?
guess what today? Still hasn't sold. So this is, you know.
Sad.
Well, it's
So
just-
he
it's just-
paid in 2021. He paid $652,000 for it at Queen and Spadina, his little boutique building.
I mean, it's less than 5 years. You shouldn't be selling yet anyway.
And last time I checked it was in January, and he had it listed for $599,999. Before that, it was $569. Before that was $619. Before that was $639. Before that was $669. Before that was $579.
Same agent?
I was just going to say the same agent.
And today it's 600. Today it's 650,000.
Oh, the market picked up.
Picked up.
Yes.
Interest rates went down.
The newspapers and the stock market and all this stuff doesn't affect him.
No. And that's the problem with sellers. They think that they're special. Like, you could give them all the stats and all the things and look at this, and they
It's the
still
same
think that,
agent.
but I'm special. But for me,
And he hired a list for less realtor.
Yeah, he had.
He's
oh
offering
no, this is his third agent.
And he's also
He's offering 2.5% commission, but he's still doing these discount guys.
There's been 3 agents. Damn. One was
it's
yeah.
like an easy list, like a mirror listing type thing. I mean, I am reading that the condo market's going to be like this for a while.
It's just crazy.
I don't know if it's right.
He's not come to terms with
It's just
reality.
crazy.
This one here, it's 680 square feet, but I bet, I don't know if it is or isn't.
I mean, condo prices are down year to year, like almost 3%. It's just in the stats. Like, we know prices have gone down, so you can't.
I have a house for sale. He listed January last year. Vacant for 15 months, brand new house. Okay. And I sold for $1,090,000. He won't go with me because of the commission. Okay. Now I listed $989,000. I can offer $1 million. He won $105,000.
Of course.
$1,005,000. Stuck for $5,000. And I have a quick closing. It just doesn't understand.
Yeah.
It's not going to take it.
You know,
What are you charging him? 6%?
6%. No, I'm just kidding. 5%.
Still, though, it's not. It's proper commission. And
Right now,
Call me so don't make me feel guilty. I said, call me last year. Didn't go with me because of the commission.
yeah. Now I'm here.
Now I'm here.
Same model, same house.
So if you wait one more month, I charge you 7.
15 months cost him $90,000.
Yeah, like.
And they still want their price because they're special, because they feel special. Like, it's the market doesn't
Because
impact
I would
them.
rather carry it.
Yeah, because of their
carry it.
ego. Because I think Canadians have ego. I think Canadians are too proud. They won't come to terms.
Difficult for Sri Lankan to pay 5%.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
I think it's difficult for everybody, not just those guys.
Yeah, I think so. Too.
Everybody.
They all want the discount.
No problem with other people.
I don't have a ton of articles because I was trying to keep things kind of positive, but I just wanted. It was
I
more.
didn't bring
It's just
any.
more talking, you know.
What are your favorite election promises?
I'll look to you for something like this, but I was reading an article about someone saying the market will always come back at some point. It's going to be circular. We've been here before. It's not new. People in this room have been here before, and the market's going to come back. So it's just a
I
matter.
think it's
of
already
when.
come back.
You think it's a comeback already?
Yeah.
So we're in it right now.
Right now.
the revenue.
Soon as the sun came out there, I think it's
Yeah.
happening as we speak.
It's true.
So Shiv's going to get his $1,050,000.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Maybe this week you'll get it. Maybe after Wednesday.
He's trying to squeeze you. I mean, we got all kinds of negative news here for people that aren't pricing it correctly. This is why you got to use the articles in the right vein, right? Toronto home sales are at a 27-year low, and condo investors are stuck in a nightmare.
Is it a nightmare? No.
Well, condo guys. I mean, if this guy here, if he
For
pays
him, it's a
$600,000 for it, and he can't get more than $500 for it now, I mean, that's
but
the
were they not
problem, right?
gambling in the first place? I don't know for sure, but these are speculators. These are gamblers. At some point, the gamble's not going to work. It wasn't going to work every time.
Bedroom in Universal Tower 3. Then she paid $778 closing cost and everything else. She's going to pay $25,000 or $850. Listed for $750 still not.
Yeah. And were they a speculator or was this an end user?
2019.
Was she going to live in it or what was her
No, no,
purpose?
it was investment.
Investment. So a speculator, though. Gamble, right? So it's gambling gone wrong. I think those times are over now.
5 years,
Yeah.
2019.
This fellow here says the same thing I'm saying here. You wrote an article on the 6th saying here, I recently advised investors against buying condos to flip. Here's why those who ignored that advice are in financial peril.
Yeah.
I'm looking at somebody here, Shanaz here. You've come to me many times saying I've got a client that wants to invest in pre-construction. My answer was always invest or speculate. And if you want to invest, what that means is that you're gonna pay for that place, you're gonna rent it out at market rents, and it's gonna be a break-even cash flow. There's an investor. But if you're paying so much for that place that it would never carry for itself, and now you're a speculator, and if you would buy one, I don't know, buy two, buy 10, I don't know, I mean, it's a speculator, who knows? Right? So this guy said the same advice, that when you're buying these things, if it can carry itself, you're an investor. If you're just buying to flip it, you're a speculator, a gambler, right? And you win and you lose, right? So so it's not changed. Nothing's changed. But then people got caught up in the FOMO, because their brother did it, and their sister did it, and their mother
Everyone
did
is
it,
doing
and then
it.
so everybody got caught up in it, and some people scored real good, and other people didn't, right?
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and here we are. But
One guy called me yesterday wanting to sell a condo in Scarborough.
yeah.
And ridiculous. He's telling me, get me $1 million
For a condo.
condo.
Well,
You can buy a house in Scarborough.
Well,
That's exactly what he wants to do.
you had one.
He wants to buy a house.
You had one it was in Yorkville. It was a 550 square foot studio, and she wanted $800,000 for it.
That's what they were selling for, yeah.
No, there's somebody actually bought a studio. It was in news. 868,000 for a studio of 390 square feet. They didn't close. They lost their $250,000 deposit. The builder's going after them, but suing them for the whole amount of the purchase. $860,000.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And it was appraised for $500,000.
That's a nightmare then. Yeah, that's a lot. I'm reading that a lot of banks are offering blanket appraisals right now and blanket approvals, especially RBC is one of them. Other ones might follow suit.
BMO as well, right?
BMO too,
BMO's
yeah.
doing it.
I'd say
And that's to help the developer, because if they don't close, they're not going to be able to finance the whole building. So they have to do it to make the whole thing work, and which makes sense. They should be working together and make it work, as long as the bank knows that over time they're going to get it back. But yeah, they're just calling it a wash. Whatever they bought it for, they're appraising it at that and letting them go ahead just to make it happen, which kind of makes sense.
So that's good news, though. I mean,
It is good news,
So a
like,
lot of
yeah.
people that are stuck. Hopefully, they can go to BMO or RBC to be able to do that blanket mortgage.
You know how you were mentioning people was caused in that price increase or whatever? But it's funny, we had this meeting with the developer. I think it was a rare event with Ryan. They came in and they said, City of Toronto imposing that development charges for a one bedroom. Imagine how much they ask a developer for the development charges. How much do you think they
It was
would
like $80K or something I read.
more than 100,000.
Yeah.
So they're saying, how could I have the cost so low when city's charging me $100,000 for one
Totally.
bedroom?
There's no incentive for them to develop anymore.
So
What's
the
the point?
cost is gonna even get worse and worse with these tariffs, with the cost of
Yep.
aluminum and steels.
So you know the answer, right? From the city. Somebody has to pay for those sewers. Somebody has to pay for those hospitals. Somebody has to pay for those schools.
But they're saying affordability on the housing. How could you make it?
I know, there's the pull and the tug, right? I mean, how you're going to put these people? The next thing you're going to complain there's not enough hospital beds for these people.
That's the
'cause they didn't pay enough.
Offered to the
So-
lawyer
Yeah.
before he
Alright.
accepted. You have 10 days. One of my friends ended up paying $100,000 government charges on closing.
Yeah.
No, but was it at the beginning or they bought it as assignment?
No. When she bought it,
She
didn't take it.
she didn't put a cap on the development charges.
Her daughter-in-law got into real estate, sold her a condo for $1.4 million in the Yorkville area, and now she closed. Lawyer asked for $100,000 government charge.
Wow.
Yeah, because the fees get passed straight back to the consumer too,
You
right?
have 10 days to take it to the lawyer.
Actually, that's a question.
We
Does it-
we know a lot today on the pre-construction, a lot more today than we did at the time.
Sure.
The other thing was the
occupancy fees.
occupancy fees that we never put a cap on those.
We used to be so casual about it. Don't worry, it's just close to market
Can they
rent.
do that
Not a big
because nobody
deal.
knows
Yeah, they
what's
charge
the-
you 7% interest.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't a big deal when interest was low, right?
Yeah, but at the time you bought it, it was only 0.5%. And then it went to 7% on closing. So had we known, we would have put a cap on that too.
No builder would accept that. It doesn't matter.
So, Aidan, are you
Fee
converting?
should be prime first half.
Something, eh? Who
Are you
knows?
converting your people to resale now then, or what do you tell your pool of people?
Like the one that they do pre.
In general, when you're talking to your people, your
Surprisingly,
database.
people still buy pre.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But of course, we
It's not surprising because there's good incentives, and that's kind of the game that they're in, right? So they know there's going to be highs and
get
lows.
like
So.
2 years. They get positive cash flow guarantee for 2 years. Like LSQ right now is
Yeah.
offering 2 years positive cash flow.
Yeah, yeah.
So even the rate jumps to whatever, they guarantee you it's positive.
How do they guarantee that?
Because they're saying even the rate goes back in like 2 years back to like 5%.
They're also gambling on the market.
Okay.
They assume that by the time the building's ready,
Is that in writing? I guarantee.
The
Yeah.
developer gives you a check every month.
Wow.
Then you give your money back.
So I've got a couple of positive things.
Well, no, I'll say the positive stuff about this Precon is going to be in your resale market. It's going to put pressure on all the condos that are ready today and available because there's nothing else to buy. So all your gamblers might end up going back to the resale market. But for your end users, they were already there anyways. So today is a great time to buy a resale condo.
Yeah.
In 2 years, when there's no more starts, then those prices are going to go up. So today, right now, is your sweet spot for buying a resale condo, I think. Yeah.
3 bedroom for 750 overlooking to the bay.
That's great.
It's still not for sale. It's still
It's still overpriced because it's
Where's
Pickering.
that? Pickering?
Because it's Pickering.
Yeah.
Does it come
Pickering is
parking
awesome,
though,
by the
right?
way.
Yeah, it has that parking. Yeah, yeah.
Only one parking spot or two?
They never give two parking spot unless you bought at the end.
Yeah, they should if you got a 3
That's a good buy, but then they probably want to go buy a semi-detached for 800.
Yeah. Or
I
townhouse.
had semi-detached for 750.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why go in a condo? You have to deal with an elevator and underground parking.
Yeah.
Get a freehold semi.
Or a townhome.
So it's not bad. There's good incentives, and it's going to help with the resale market.
There's they're saying here that the Canada is saving its real estate bubble by creating a rental bubble. So in other words, a lot of people are going over to the rental side. A lot of condo developers are building purpose-built rentals. But you know what they're doing? The rent that they're charging for purpose-built rentals is higher than what the mom and pop guys are getting rentals for their condominiums.
Don't let the wolf into the
So the government's saying that they want affordable housing, but the affordable rental housing they're building costs more than the current rentals.
Yeah.
So this is the problem that they're having right now.
I think
That there's going to be a bubble that people
Yeah.
can't afford to buy, or they want to go into a rental market. Even though we're talking about rents down, even though I just said the rents up for last month,
It's true.
there's no
The
rent
new ones,
control.
yeah.
The new ones,
Yeah.
and for a developer, they can make more money making a purpose-built rental than they can selling condos.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing. It's gotten to a point now where they're even saying that rents in these smaller towns, like people went outside outside Toronto to get people rent. They said those rents are now coming up. They're saying that rents now in Halifax are comparable to rents in Toronto.
What? No
That's
way.
why. No way.
Let the lobster.
No way.
Right?
No, you can buy for half the price.
Buy for half the price, but the
shit.
rental market's there because they had the same problem there. They had no lack of housing, right?
Yeah.
Halifax is expensive.
I think we're going to see an oversupply of rental units in the next 3 years.
Trump's tariffs won't cause out-of-control prices in Canada, according to the economists.
I believe it. Yeah.
Because they're saying here that that China, if they're going to be putting 125 or 145% tariff on China goods in USA, they're not in Canada. So China's going to be dumping all their stuff here. Right? So
Great.
so we could get things cheaper for us.
We'll take it.
We do have a 25% tariff. Just so you know, we have a 25% tariff on steel, and we have a 25% tariff on aluminum, right? But also on 25% on automobiles that don't comply with our free trade agreement.
Even the parts.
That don't comply to the trade agreement. So they're saying that it may not have the impact that the papers want us to believe that it does. So they're saying don't be concerned as much as what everybody's pushing. So this is the point that they're trying to say. There's still lots of cars that are being made here that won't affect it, and that's where we're at there. So that they're saying here, don't be freaking out. It may not be as bad as everybody might think it is.
Unless you're employed at one of the auto plants there's some layoffs this past week, right? So it is going to impact a small niche segment of people. Yeah, and then Ingersoll as well. So
Ingersoll's Honda, right?
I don't remember.
Toronto continues to have the most cranes in North America,
Really?
well over double its closest competitor. So even though we're thinking, well, Toronto's bad, Toronto this, there's still more cranes being
That's
operated.
interesting. Like active cranes, like they're not
Active
just like
cranes
frozen
there.
in the sky. Like
Yeah. And a lot of them are not condominiums. Some of them are like purpose-built rentals. Some of them are office buildings. Some are different things there. Just to give you an idea, Toronto has 106 active cranes out there right now. Next highest city is Los Angeles, 42.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
See, the grass is always greener.
Next highest, Calgary, 24. Seattle, 17. So there's still all kinds of construction going on.
That's good.
And again, it's not all condominiums. It's other purpose-built stuff in that, but it's so that's still happening. So that's good news. What else? Okay, Bank of Canada. Anybody? Okay, so we got two things this week. Want me to carry on? Or you okay?
Yep.
We've got April 15th. What day is that?
Actually, don't know. What
That's
it is.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow they're going to announce the CPI.
Yes. In preparation for 16.
So it was at one time, well, currently it's 2.6%.
The goal is 2.5, no?
2.0 is the goal. Economists expect annual inflation rate to come in at 2.6 for March. So you know they were going to announce it April. Tomorrow's an announcement for what happened in March.
Yeah.
And they're suggesting another 2.6. Went from 1.9 in February to 2.6, and they're expecting another 2.6. So that'll be on tomorrow. So now the next question, on the next day, the 16th, they're going to announce the Bank of Canada rate. Based on this information, do you think the rates are going to go up or rates are going to go down?
I think down.
Hopefully down.
And somebody suggested 0.5 point,
Quarter.
and then other people suggested 1/4 point, but I think if the CPI comes in at 2.6, I can't see more than 1/4 point.
Yeah. I think they're going to do a quarter, honestly, just for the PR of it until the election, and then maybe after the election, maybe then they'll start to hold it.
And what's the rule of thumb? For every 1/4 point, you can see a $15 per $100,000 reduction in the mortgage rates.
Yeah.
So if you got $1 million rate, you could be $150 cheaper per month.
Does anyone have clients that are renewing this year that bought 2020? Are they doing variable or fixed? Because they're getting pretty close together now, right? It's kind of I have my renewal.
Fran's been recommending
3-year. I mean, this one 3-year fixed, insured 3.8, uninsured 4.9. I mean, they all change a little bit,
So
right?
for Indian people, 3-year rate is 3.48.
For Indian people,
Why? You guys get
Actually from Indian origin. Born in India.
I haven't heard of this. Is this a policy change?
when did that happen? Is this the Brampton deal? What's happening? Is this the Brampton deal?
My son-in-law's Indian.
I'm married to an Indian. Do I qualify?
Do we get Indian
get the deal?
in-law like
Also,
Discount?
What's happening right now?
if you have money in an Indian bank, or your parents can transfer the money in your account, and they give you 7.25% interest rate in India, and here you can borrow against it 85% line of credit, and you pay 4.25%. Secure line of credit.
That's ICICI.
what the hell's in it?
We don't have any money there.
Oh, okay.
All our money
As soon as Trudeau left.
Yeah, I mean, Brand's telling us to do variable and then lock in when we
He
feel
said
like
lock
it's
in around
stable.
3.99.
I'm still a little nervous. I'm on the conservative
I am
side.
too.
I might do fixed just for the sake of budgeting and stuff. I don't
Inflation
know.
might make a comeback later on. And
I don't-
That's where it's just,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more scared for a couple of years from
Me
now,
too.
not necessarily today.
I just want to throw this out. Just throw this out a little bit here. So the suggestion is that you borrow, you borrow money on your line of credit. You take money out of your house and then you invest it in India, let's say, and get a 7% return on money that you're paying 4%. Is that what you're saying?
That's not no. That's not borrowing.
I'm actually not sure.
If your parents want to transfer the money in your name in India,
Right.
you can borrow against that money.
Okay.
So they give you 7.25% there, and then you pay 4.25%.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a pretty good deal.
I guess so.
If somebody has money and they can withdraw the money.
You got to be careful with all the international stuff. I know somebody that was involved in exporting, and what he did, he took a container and he filled it full of used clothes and stuff like that, and he shipped it to India. No, Africa. You've seen that diabetes stuff. You've seen those boxes out there. They take that stuff and they throw it in a container and they send it to Africa or whatever it might be. But what he didn't take into consideration was the value of the dollar and the value of the exchange rate. So by the time he loaded up in Vancouver and shipped it to Africa, it took like 2-3 months or something to get there. And by the time he got there, all his profit got disappeared because the depreciation in the local dollar went down so much that he lost money. So I thought you were going to borrow.
This money you keep in the same currency. You keep
Okay,
it in-
so I thought maybe you were borrowing money from a different currency and then doing
No,
the
no,
difference.
currency.
Got to be careful.
Currently, I got 3.54,
3.5, 3-year fixed
3-year fixed insured, Scotia.
insurance. Scotia. Yeah, Scotia seems to be the kind of go-to.
3.69
Yeah.
cashback, without cashback, 3.5.
Did you have to negotiate at branch level or through a broker?
No, through through mobile.
Still mobile, like just a call center. Like it wasn't anyone in particular.
He managed. Yeah, I think
Mobile.
It's like a Scotiabank actual.
yeah, because they want me to
mortgage
come into the branch, and I don't want to go. I'm trying to deal everything. So now I'm trying to figure out, like, no one's offering me that
I have a
yet.
mobile agent for Scotia.
Yeah.
And she does everything on the phone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What happened is, in between when they decided the 9th of April that tariff will be on hold for 90 days, that day he connected
was a good
with the
day.
bank underwriter, he got another 0.1,
Yeah.
10% more reduction.
It's good to know. See, that's not bad. 3.9,
When it's raining, you call.
3.5.
3.54. Sorry, yeah, that's pretty good.
I've got this came through my email there, and it's something that I want somebody here to do, or everybody to do, or something there. But there's certain parts of the city there where there's all this new construction. And one particular one I'm familiar with is the Seaton. Seaton is North Pickering, right? I drove by there the other day there just to see what's going on there, and I noticed one development there. I see all kinds of plots ready to go, ready to be built, but I don't see anybody building anything. Does anybody notice that? I see all kinds of construction. I see all kinds of raw land with light posts on it and hydro and everything else ready to go, but I don't see anybody building anything.
I think they're waiting.
So I think they're waiting, right? But they got this email here, and it says new Seaton there, and it talks about $700,000 townhouses, $5,000 free upgrades, 13-foot townhouses, granite kitchens, natural oak staircases, blah, blah, blah. Starting at $700,000, register for the price lists, floor plans, and secure a lot. This is a realtor, it's not the builder.
I was just gonna say.
So I think everybody should be doing that. Like pick up what's going on out there, see what's happening in that area, and just go the same idea. They're paying commissions. These guys are pretending to be the builders. They've done it quite often. Pre-construction does it all the time in the condos, but now they're doing it in townhouses and stuff out there. So we might want to look at that. Also, though, on the south side of Taunton Road, there's a development there by, I think it was Mattamy Homes did that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Anybody can correct me. I think it was
I think
Mattamy.
it's very good.
That's Whitby.
In North Pickering, at Whites Road in Taunton.
That's north of Taunton.
Yeah, south of Taunton I'm talking about. And Mattamy Homes.
By Whites, yeah.
Whites Road, right? Anyways, there's probably about, I don't know, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 homes in there that somebody needs to go in there and start farming. Because these houses, people bought them to spec and people bought them to flip, and people didn't realize how far away it is from downtown Toronto or from where else. So if you're thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'd walk that neighborhood and I'd start considering that I want to make this my farm area. I'd find out who the builder is, get the plans, and start farming that area. That's what I would do.
It's true. So you have April 15th CPI, April 16th the mortgage, April 30th is when you need to pay your taxes. You can file by June 16th because you're all self-employed, but if you owe a balance, you have to pay before April 30th, which means you might as well do your taxes if you need to know how much you owe, right? Yep. Everyone's aware of that deadline?
March 30th you have to pay.
Nope, April 30th. And there is a stat that 1 in 4 Canadians actually think their tax deadline will get delayed because of the election. And that is not true. The tax deadline stays the same no matter what happens. There is some weird capital gains stuff happening. Anyone that overpaid capital gains, they abandoned that rule, so they're going to get paid back for that. But no, you have till June 16th to file, till April 30th to pay if you owe.
That's a corporation.
If you're self-employed. And it's also your final reminder to do your vacant tax declaration by April 30th. So if you want one more push to your clients, one more social media post, one more email, one more text message, it's April 30th is the final deadline for the vacant declaration. We've been talking about it since last year, so it's
Usually
not new.
it was February last, or they give it out in February. Whatever your clients got that yellow envelope.
Yeah.
We told you guys to message them in February to remind them of this.
So if you,
But
it's an awesome touch point. It's really easy for your Toronto people.
you'll save them a lot of money if they haven't done it.
Just I don't know. I have a place. My tenant's leaving the end of this month, so I haven't decided what to do yet. But I had to go to Toronto Hydro to tell them that, oh, by the way, put the hydro back into my name instead of the tenant's name.
So it doesn't look
Is that
vacant.
normal? So if you've got a client that says, well, how's the city going to know it's vacant? There's one reason right there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, like if they don't,
I'm sure they'll
if they
talk.
don't.
Because it's part of Toronto Hydro. Toronto
Yeah.
Hydro, you got to put in there, say, send the bill to me now because the people, the tenant moved out. It's not very hard for the city of Toronto
Yeah.
to walk across the hall to the Toronto Hydro and find out who's empty and who isn't.
Yeah,
What if your immediate family members living there?
No, it's not vacant.
Then it's not vacant, is it?
You have to declare if it's vacant or not vacant.
You have to say if it's vacant or not vacant.
Yeah.
Is it? Does someone live there or not?
You're only getting taxed if no one lives there.
But how would they know? That's what I say, immediate family member or not?
No, that doesn't. It doesn't matter who's in it. If it's a family member or tenant, as long as someone's in the house. Could be a homeless
You say
man.
that the only way they can find out if the hydro is, let's say if we switch over back to my name as the owner, but is my cousin supposedly who lives
Yeah,
there,
that's fine.
in reality, can they find out?
No.
Well, as long as
Some
unless you want to tell people.
Started with the property management.
someone's still living there. It's not vacant.
I'm not sure where the city of Toronto, the property manager's not going to give that information. So I'm not sure.
Too much work for the property
I mean,
manager.
you can get away with anything. But as I said, 45% of all condominiums are vacant. So I think they're keeping an eye on it.
They're going to make their money just by people forgetting the deadline, anyways. Like,
Yeah.
that's how they're going to make their money.
And just so you know, it's 3% rather than 1%. right?
Yeah, it doubled. Yeah.
The problem is most people getting that envelope think they only have to declare it if no one's in the house, but you have to do it either
have to
you're living
declare.
there or not. You have to declare that someone's there or someone's not. And if you don't respond, then you get charged.
CRA is funny. Hopefully everybody signed into my CRA. You guys signed into my CRA?
Religiously.
For those people that haven't, when you go in there, you can actually go in there and you can actually see what you're, like, for instance, we sent you a T4A, right? And let's say for some reason you decide that, I forget what, I haven't got my T4A, where is it? If you log into my CRA, it's there, it's already there. So if you're missing any tax documents and you're trying to chase them down, trying to get your accountant or trying to get somebody else, they've all been filed and all registered on my CRA anyways. In fact, I think there was a point now where they're even saying that we shouldn't even be filing our taxes. Let the government file taxes because they have all the information.
Just tell me what I owe. Yeah.
They have the info. They just want us to do it.
They want us to guess.
Imagine wiping out an entire industry. If the government says you no longer, we're going to
File your taxes. for
file
you.
our taxes for you from this point forward.
Sure, I trust you.
Imagine if the government said we're going to file your taxes for you. We have all the information anyways.
We'll just tell you what
Imagine all the
shows.
accounting offices and stuff
H&R
like that.
Block
There'd be no reason for it.
There were a
But they
lot
can't-
more
how would they know
realtors
your
than
expenses, though?
For us, we kind of need the accountants because they kind of help us.
I'm thinking maybe not for independent contractors, but
Just
for
regular people.
majority of regular people, right?
Yeah.
Question, for this assignment, like for these people that they lose their money right now, if my client bought something, they're losing $200,000, they're assigning it to this guy, can they claim the $200 as a capital loss?
Only against capital income.
Yes.
Yeah, you can. Capital
Yes.
loss.
You have to have an income.
You can have a capital loss, yes.
You have capital loss.
Yes.
That's what people are.
So that means
okay.
this year, from their actual income, whatever they make in their daily job, they can lose $200,000.
Is that considered income? though?
That's not
Deposit?
a capital gain.
That's
Income's
capital loss. I'm saying that.
no capital loss is not written off against income.
Because it's just
I mean,
it's,
next year, if they have any
No,
property.
if they
You're
if
just
they,
not paying capital
if they
gains
bought
tax.
if they bought let's say they bought Apple when Trump said 25%, and then you sold Apple when Trump said it's not 25%. Then you made $100,000 profit, capital gain. You could write that off again and sell it. You could write that off against your capital gain.
but not the reverse.
Capital
Where
gain
does this
versus
capital loss
capital
goes to? Like, is it only for that year, or they can continue?
I think it's I don't know. You know, it can be carried over. I think it can go back 3 years.
3 years.
I can go back 3 years.
So in
Yeah.
the next 3 years, if they make any money out of any
Yeah, they can
property,
take
they
it over
can,
against it, you can get the money back.
you can cancel it against that.
Yeah.
But you can't cancel it your
3
income.
years.
Not against your income, you cannot, but against your property.
Properties, stocks,
All the
stocks,
capital.
You
properties.
can carry it for
Going
7
forward in 7 years.
or forward 7 years.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you're right, too.
That's why it's not that big of a deal.
No, but some people think, well, $200,000 right off my income. No, you can't do
No,
that.
yeah.
It's against your property
Capitals, yeah. Just 2 compliance things before we go to Katelyn. We get what's called GIS notices. I actually don't even know what it stands for, but it's when something's wrong in your listing and we get a warning. They have AI scrubbing these things now. They're scrubbing all of your listings, and we only have 1 day to fix them. So just a common thing I've seen a lot this month is contact LA, contact listing agent, contact me for a showing. You can't solicit in client remarks on MLS. So you can't showcase yourself. Call me. You can't do that. Also, I've seen in brokerage remarks buyers to verify taxes, measurements, etc. You can't. It's your responsibility to do your own measurements and to get the right information, and you can't put that in a brokerage remark. Even if you did, it's not enforceable anyways. So
Africa, a lot of people don't put the measurement in the listing at all.
I think it's mandatory now in MLS for all new listings.
A lot of times, the other listings don't have that.
If you
Just one room.
They are going to make it mandatory, though. They've been threatening it for like a year, so I just don't think they have the technology to make it a mandatory field. But it's going to be mandatory for condos and freeholds at some point. So,
So that means you have to pay for somebody to come do Matterport.
or go do your own measurement with your laser. Or there's a lot of apps. We have an app, Cubicasa.
Just going estimated.
Matterport is accurate yet?
So your 390 square feet is what? 300?
I've seen some without the measurements, but there's no floor plan attached to the listing.
Any phone you can do it?
Interesting. Yeah, I've always had best practice. I guess I had my training from Nelson, and in my brain, for the past 8 years, measurements have always been mandatory, along with the descriptions. I always complete the whole thing. You want it to look full and needy, right? Like I don't know. It's because we got trained. So.
We always tell you guys to do your measurements in your listing appointment. Like if you guys are too lazy to do it, at least you know you're already at the house for the listing appointment. Bring your laser tool as you're going room by room. Measure it while you're there.
Didn't they teach you, they don't call it phase
Yeah,
one anymore, but didn't they teach you in
yes.
phase 1 to measure?
Yes.
And didn't they teach you, don't use someone else's measurements because
Yeah.
it could be wrong?
Like I always thought I had to. I had my laser measures like the first thing I
If you
bought.
don't have a laser measure, go get one because that, I don't know, using the manual one is too much.
No, but there is some pretty cool apps. Cubicasa is pretty
that's
decent. You do it with your
impressive.
phone, but it's $10.
Just
so.
get a laser
Yeah.
and measure it while you're there.
And for those techie people, Sanek's got an app. I don't know if it's, do you use
I just
it?
said that. Cubicasa.
So Cubicasa, how do you spell that?
Cubicasa. It's about $10 to $20, I think.
Cubicasa.
$10
Yeah.
less.
It's $10 a month?
No, just for the
$10 app. Okay, and what they do, you get this app, and then you take your phone,
Yeah, it's like a
picture
camera.
a camera, and you walk
You follow it.
you walk the perimeter of the house. Do you not?
Yeah. Yeah,
walk
you look
you walk
around
the
the
perimeter of the
baseboard.
house, inside the room, and it measures the rooms and gives you a floor plan.
Yeah, and I would say it's not 100% accurate, but there's a disclaimer at the bottom that says this was done through an app. It's not 100%
Well, it says
accurate.
measurement.
It's approximate.
It says where did you get the measurements from, and you just say
That's like $100
Whatever that
worth
app.
of savings.
Yeah. Ming, our photographer, will also do this for you. He'll add a little bit of an upcharge to do it, but
the only problem with those things is the measurements aren't always correct. So you have to be very careful.
You have to have
Measure it wrong.
so you have to have some
Exactly.
common sense. Okay,
Yes.
so if you go in there and you say that the room is 30 meters long, you have to have in your head what 30 meters looks like. So if you're a golfer, for instance, you know what 30 yards means, right? But if you're not, you probably don't know what 30 yards means. So you got to have some logic here, okay?
so we had a good tech day last
Yeah,
week.
I was just going to recap on that. I
Yeah.
want to talk about coaching. We had tech day last week with Sanik. Thank you so much.
Did
for
everyone
that.
like that session? We had a lot of good feedback from it.
I heard that was a really good session.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we haven't done a tech day before, so it was really cool. Sanik talked about how to open Google Drive, how to access like the office files. He even went as far as showing us his what he uses for clients, his client worksheet, where he creates an Excel file for every single client, keeps track of all the showings they do, the feedback. Pretty much everything is on this form. So we sent out the template to it last week in your email. So hopefully you guys got that. It's also in the WhatsApp group if you guys want the Want Sanix?
Did he scare you all from being a buyer's agent? Are you like, this is what buyer's agents do now?
Very
For their
detailed.
commission?
I was really impressed. I didn't even know Sanic went this far, but super detailed.
Conversations like this.
Yeah,
okay.
so what we decided, I tried to post it on YouTube, but YouTube took it down within like 10 minutes
It's kind of
because
a
it's
hard
got
session
client.
to
It had like
Share a lot
Emma.
of information.
Well, we were opened up MLS. There was addresses on it, so I did put it in the Google Drive, so you guys can go watch the recording there. But unfortunately, YouTube did not love it.
Yeah.
But we did decide we're gonna do. So he did Google Drive, Realm, ChatGPT, and Notebook. This weekend, Zanik and I decided we're going to do another tech day in May, but we're going to do it on Canva, I believe. Are any of you guys using Canva? Yeah.
That's
So
still
a lot of
using
our
it?
agents use Canva Pro. I personally use Canva for everything, like even just making like digital designs, feature sheets, social media posts, business cards, email signatures.
We use Pro.
I
but
use Pro because
regular
I like
sign-
access to the photos because they have like photo libraries, so you don't have to go on Google, find your own photos. So Canva allows you to do a little bit more extra with the templates.
Like I do this in Canva.
Yeah.
This is Canva.
It's $250.
if you guys use
a
Canva,
year.
you could put your own face here
$250
instead
a
of
year.
a generic
Share a
person.
membership with anybody?
So a lot of our agents, I think Chad and them, like sometimes you can share with like 5 people. You
It's only $150 a year, isn't it?
can't do it anymore.
How much is it?
It's $250.
It's only $200. It's not
That
that
is
much.
not expensive. I've seen how much you spend on marketing. This is like pennies. This is pennies.
Shiv's gonna share his account with
Yeah.
all of you guys.
Yeah. No idea.
If Siv is going to do that,
I have no
his
idea.
fees will increase
But
from
I
5 to
do my
6%.
distinct presentation in Google Drive.
That's fair. Yeah, we do too.
Fair.
Yeah.
So you can design it in Canva and then you can save it as a PDF, put it onto Google Drive. There's so many things you can do with it. I give you guys buyer guides, sellers guides, and listing presentations that are editable templates. So if you have an account and you hate the colors, you want to put your face on it, you can go into the editable versions. So
Last week they also added Canva AI. It was huge.
it's
That's
huge.
not last week.
That wasn't last week,
It's been around
but
all year.
No, but like the sheets and like just
Yeah,
the
they're-
sheets
there's,
is
there's
new.
some crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, yeah. So Canva's trying to replace
I'm
Microsoft.
gonna make it like
I have
easier.
no idea so far.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'll tell
So we're gonna do another tech day in May. I'll send you guys out where we'll walk you guys through how to use Canva. So I think we're gonna try to maybe do a tech day every month. So if you guys have tech that you want to learn, we'll teach it.
Is there any topics you guys
We
would
don't
want
have
to
time
learn?
to do weekly.
Bi-weekly.
No, once a month is enough. No. And what you guys should be doing is going over the tech day and practicing the stuff. Don't just come to tech day and like forget all about it. It's yeah. Make sure.
So see, whatever you learn, you spend 2 hours on that one thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And, you know,
Like
2
a
hours.
professional farming, can we talk about it, like have a course for that?
On farming.
That could be a
Yeah.
session.
What would you like to learn on it?
How to do?
A to Z, like everything.
You know how.
You
to do-
know how.
You're doing farming training.
What are you talking about?
You're gonna do the training, right?
You're doing the training.
You're doing
then.
farming right now.
I am, but I'm saying like if we do something like that in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna host it.
Okay, so we're doing agent hosting days, so you can host that one, right? Right? I know you know how to do it.
We know you're farming too.
ChatGPT and just like,
Where does it farm?
Anyways.
Where does it farm?
That's a whole. That's his. That's not for
Shiv
today.
does farming too. We'll put you guys together.
Yes.
We'll do a
A
shared
lot of door
training.
knocking.
Yes, door knocking, flyers. We can do a farming session. I don't think it needs to be too much, but farming is basically just pick an area,
Claire's
go
gonna
door
run
knock,
farming.
send out flyers.
Farming's not that difficult.
It's not.
You just have to have a
Open
routine
houses.
and be consistent.
You get a lot of business from door knocking.
If you're not consistent, then I mean I've seen people do 5,000 flyers on a farm and sit there and wait for somebody to call them. That's not going to work.
It's
Nobody's
like
gonna call.
A daily job. You have to
Yeah, I'll get the question, hey, Carly, I want to do a just sold. And I'll say, great, but don't just do one just sold. You got to be prepared to do it every month, over and over, and call.
Same
and door knock.
neighborhood.
Don't just sell a house and do one flyer. I promise you will waste your money doing that. I would not do
I've
that.
also
Just do the door knocking.
I've also seen people put their face on bunch benches, bunch like
Bus benches.
bus
Benches.
No, garden bins.
and garbage bins, and they think they're farming. That's the same thing. Just
No,
waste your
that's
money.
called
Just
marketing.
give your money
Yeah.
to charity.
You
So-
got to do the bus and do the door
Yeah.
knocking and the calling and the flyers. All
It's all
together.
just brand recognition more than anything. So no one's gonna go to your like we've got a bus out there. No one's gonna call us from the bus. But what was cool about our
Bus
bus?
bench in Richmond Hill.
Yeah.
You got nothing.
It's true.
Well,
No,
it's
you're
cool.
right.
Like we just did the buses that you guys saw in Durham. Like it probably didn't result in business, but what it did do is we had clients probably every week sending us photos when they're behind the bus. So if anything, it was just like reminding people about you. But no one's gonna call and say, "Hey, I found you on a bus. Can you sell my house?"
I
But
never got that.
brand recognition is just being in front of faces all the time.
One day I was passing through Avenue Mall.
Yeah.
The mortgage agent was holding
building a board like the bigger does that.
Yep.
The mortgage agent was that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, so they're sales
Again,
too. It's all the same principles.
recognition.
I did that Pickering Town Center.
Mortgage brokers
Yeah.
are no different than a real estate broker.
No, same thing. So yeah, that's what we'll do this week. Wednesday, we've got Beta DeLisi coming back, which I'm excited about.
She's
She's
awesome.
the paralegal that's come in a few times
Yeah.
from Stonegate. So she works a lot with landlord-tenant issues. So we had a request from our last session. She's going to come in and do a session on how to qualify tenants, which I think is a really good
Yes.
one. She's going to give us 10 tools to qualify tenants. Don't know what the tools are, so she's going to go over all that. I don't even think she'll even go that high tech. I think she'll say what questions to ask, how to do a Google search, social media search, stuff like that. So she's going to talk about that with you guys. And then I'll even step to next Wednesday. We're going to meet in Pickering. We're going to go do an off-site training instead of in the office. So we're going to go to the Pickering City Center at the Pickering Town Center. I think she's just doing a market outlook.
They
But she's
actually
doing
have-
objection handling.
No,
of
they
some
have a
sort,
really
too.
cool thing now. They have technology that can help you do a CMA on a pre-construction project. So we talk about doing CMAs all the
She's doing
time
it.
on resale and how to look at comparables. They're now going to show us how to do a CMA on a pre-construction project and how to look at what an investor would look at. So I actually think this will be really, really cool. If anyone wants to learn more about that, especially for people that are in pre-con, like how do you do a CMA right now on a pre-con tower?
There's a tool they sell, Let's Talk Condo.
But before that, were you doing manually looking at rents in the area,
Yeah.
right?
Just knowledge
So
making.
I think this will be really
Yeah.
cool, and it's nice to get out.
It's nice to be
Go to the
off-site,
mall.
Go to the mall. Yeah.
Yeah, in their sales center.
Like in the Pickering Town Center where they have their presentation center.
Center
in
court.
Pickering Mall.
Center court,
yeah.
We're going to go there. I think it's at 11 a.m. So we'll send out stuff for that, but it'll be
like a
off-site
Wednesday?
for all of us.
So Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah. I think that we've got a lot of big things.
And at some
coming.
point, I have to do FinTrack compliance stuff with you guys. I know it's so exciting, but I got to do it, and I got to make it recorded, and I'm going to make it mandatory, and I've been delaying it for a long time. We're going to do it. Yes, I know.
Don't do data sheet anymore.
I know.
Document and we do DocuSign.
Yeah. And the
I get
data.
exclusive listing signed,
Yeah.
then MLS DocuSign.
I know. I guess for us, we're so naive because for me, it's like I'm used to the change every year. Yeah, new change, but for you guys, it's a big deal.
Which data sheet are you talking about? You're talking about the data sheet?
The standard data sheet's long.
Like it's a whole big Bible.
Yeah, keep in mind the data sheet, most of it's information. It's not all fillable stuff. I think it's like 6 pages of
That
fillable.
takes time.
Yes. We get paid a lot
We
of
get
money
paid a lot of
for the
money
time
for
that we
this
put into
paperwork.
taking a listing.
The amount of agents I hear complain about paperwork kills me. Like
So
we
you're
get
talking-
paid so much
So what do you
for
use?
it.
What do you use for the data sheet then?
So I basically get the exclusive listing signed,
Yes.
4 or 5 pages,
Yes.
and then even though we're processing next week, then Kathy would send MLS listing by DocuSign.
Yes. Yes. He was going to suggest, I think, there is a way that you or Kathy can actually do the draft preview in Realm. So instead of typing it on a form, you can just get it all ready and drafted in Realm, print that as a PDF, and then it has a signature line at the bottom. So that's
So it saves you a
I would
step.
say the time is still the same. You still have
Yeah.
to input the data. It's just you're inputting it once instead of transferring it
But there's
twice.
no guarantee you're going to get the listing.
You do it after. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah.
So Kathy take care of it.
Yeah, either way, it's a good step for after. Get the exclusive first, then you do your MLS data.
Those people are using the draft, like the preview draft. They're saving the draft on Realm rather than the data sheet. Just be careful because if you don't put taxes, for instance, the data sheet won't print taxes.
Yeah, whatever you don't fill in.
If you don't put in the price, it doesn't show the price. So the purpose of the data sheet, you want the seller to sign off on that data sheet confirming that it has hardwood floors, confirming that the basement's legal, confirm whatever it says on there. Because if we have situations later on, and the data sheet doesn't say these things, and we don't have their initial, then there's an issue.
Cool.
Claire, regarding the criminal check by the police, they are saying anybody who did the courses before 2010,
Yeah.
Correct.
they have to do it.
On their next
But
renewal.
After 2010, they said they already did it when they go to the
Exactly.
school.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Yeah, so on your
asking
next
to-
renewal,
Yeah.
whenever it could be this year, it could be next year, if you're licensed before 2010, you'll be required to do the CMJ. There's like a special police check you'll be required to do.
They want to make sure you're still not a criminal.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's like $20 or something.
Yeah, it's really very easy to. We all had to do it already, so.
Yeah. I think you just did yours too, right? It was quick.
Yes.
Yeah. Jose's also fresh out of school, guys.
Yeah.
We're trying to. Make
So not a
him
big
join
deal to get the
us.
police check. It was online and.
Yeah, I actually did it yesterday.
Yeah.
I got it literally this morning. Yesterday at night at like 9 p.m.
Oh wow, that's really fast.
Really fast. Where was that? Is it in Oshawa?
Trenton.
Oh.
Trenton, Canada.
Interesting.
So if you want a really quick one, just do it at a Trenton.
We used to be able to go to some little guy in Scarborough and go to his
We used to
little
go here.
office in a chair, and he would get it the same day.
Okay, there's no lineup.
Yeah. Okay.
Online up. We're going online.
Yeah,
we're not
just
going in
doing
person.
online. We're not going to the police.
We don't have time to go in person.
Yeah.
I won't even do my mortgage in person. The biggest transaction of my life, I will do it in email.
Yeah, all online.
That's funny.
Pickering was online at least.
Any listings anyone wants to talk about? Any tales from the streets? Anything else before we go? We're not doing a meeting this coming Monday.
Oh yeah,
we're
with
here.
Easter.
We're open. The office is open, but we're not doing a meeting. So we're here.
We'll just
we're
do it on
available.
Wednesday.
Mike Fair is here tomorrow.
Oh yeah, sorry. Mike Ferry is here tomorrow till Thursday. No, Wednesday. 15 to 17?
3 days.
That's a long time. That's a lot.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Is anyone else going to that? Susan? No?
He said he's not coming.
Is it Larry Kozak?
Mike is coming.
Yeah.
Shiv.
Susan just said he's not coming.
Shiv can't lie. Look at his laughing.
Oh.
That is doing it. Mike has a health issue.
Yeah, of course. That makes sense.
I talked to him this morning.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Larry Kozak's probably doing it. Great. I think it'll be
It's called
good.
old age.
I think this is best.
Health concerns.
This one's the Building Momentum Retreat. I know Paige and I, we haven't done this one, but we've gone to a few Mike Ferry events. They're always really
If you've
good.
never done Mike Ferry, you should do it. I'll never forget.
I haven't done all of them. You've probably done
We've done
all
a
of
lot.
them.
I'll never forget the chanting
The
and the
affirmation.
positive affirmation.
There's no chanting in this one.
Chanting is the best part.
What do you mean? They got rid of it?
Chanting is in a
It's actual workshop.
Prospecting one?
Actual
Oh,
workshop.
I want the chanting.
I don't like
The phone makes me money.
Just to remind everybody
I am
here,
a great
so
listing agent.
so the office is closed completely on Friday. It's only the second day, third day
For Good Friday.
all year that we're actually closed.
Yes.
Right?
So
Like girls are closed,
yeah,
everybody.
managers will be available. Girls will be closed Friday. We're open on Monday, but no meeting.
Monday's a regular business, and then we get this question every year: is Monday a banking day?
No.
It's a federal holiday.
Well, the banks are open,
No.
or the office is open.
Banks are not. Or closed. Monday's a holiday.
I'm celebrating.
Friday
this.
and Monday's holidays.
Monday's a holiday for people that are unionized. So your clients are home, so you can sell houses.
Mortgage brokers are still working.
Speaking of selling houses, I think people should also, if anyone has closings in the next couple of weeks, just make sure everyone has their finances in order, because I'm about to get screwed on like stuff, by the way.
Oh, financing is an issue. Are people pulling out of financing, or there's?
Actually, last minute, RBC pulled their financing from him.
Why?
I think something's wrong with him, but now he's asking for an extension.
Is this your seller or your buyer?
Buyer bought
He's
another
being-
house, but they're trying to sell their other house. But the buyer for the other house that we need to help close this one is saying, "Hey, I need closing 2 weeks from
He's representing the seller, but he's impacted by the buyer's financing. And I am reading, BMO was one that they're pulling back from high-risk clients. So maybe he was self-employed or had some other properties.
Go to Scotia.
I am seeing banks
He's going
pulling
to
back a
Scotia now.
little.
Scotia won't do it until next week
Oh.
because they got the 2 holidays this week.
Oh my God! So they're like,
Scotia seems to be the most flexible right now
It's
for
a short week
financing.
this week, and then next week's also a holiday. So he's just saying like I
So
need
just-
at least 6 days.
yeah, you can't overmanage it enough, honestly. So just reach out to all the parties and just make sure that everything's in line. Even we have a closing on Wednesday and there's something happening, and you can't overmanage people enough. You think people are doing it, but they're not.
We always have closing on Thursday, day before the holiday.
Yeah. Smart.
2 days.
Fair. Okay, so we'll see you in a couple weeks and let us know if we can do anything.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.